If you are a fan of Toy Story and watched the Disney Channel in the 2000s, then you may remember a show called Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Airing on ABC and UPN as part of the programming blocks Disney's One 2 and Disney's One Saturday Morning, it follows Buzz Lightyear and his crew of space rangers. Star Command is a peacekeeping organization who fights crime throughout the galaxy. Their main goal is to take down the evil Emperor Zurg. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command is set far into the future, so Woody and all of the friends from Toy Story don't exist. In order to help out with missions, Buzz puts together Team Lightyear. The main team consists of Princess Mira Nova, who is a rookie space ranger that has the power of ghosting. This is the ability to read minds and go through walls. The big man of the group is Booster Sinclair. He is very strong and is a huge fan of Buzz Lightyear. Booster has a fun personality and acts as Buzz's sidekick. Last but not least is XR, which stands for Experimental Ranger, an accidental creation of Commander Nebula. He is a short robot who was pretty dull at first, but after getting blown apart in the first episode, XR was rebuilt with a new personality and many gadgets. Always questioning things and talking too much. He definitely keeps the comedic value in the show. Not to mention, he gets blown up in almost every episode. There are other members of Star Command like Commander Nebula, who is the commander of the group, and Rocket Crockett, who is Buzz's rival. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command is an amazing show and was very successful. It ran for 62 episodes and was preceded by the movie Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, The Adventure Begins. One thing that many people don't know about the series is that episode 23, titled Supernova, was banned after airing only 2 times. The episode begins with Buzz and the crew driving through some asteroids, when Mira realizes that some of Zurg's robots are shooting at the ship. Buzz and Star Command exit the ship and easily destroy the robots. However, while the Space Rangers are busy blasting away enemies, Zurg sends a self-destructive robot that crashes into the ship. This causes major damage and the doorway to the control room is blocked by a strong energy force. Buzz is worried, but without any other choice, Princess Mira attempts to ghost through the force. She saves the ship and moments later, returns to the main floor surrounded in green energy, saying she feels fantastic. Later that night, she video calls her father, King Nova, and tells him she can't sleep and that the most incredible thing happened to her. Talking at a high, jittery speed, she says that she ghosted through the crystallic fusion chamber and that the energy became part of her. King Nova answers in a serious and worried tone, telling the princess to forget this feeling and let it wear off. Mira argues, saying, "You've got to be kidding, this feels so great." King Nova tries to explain that this good feeling can destroy you, and that it will destroy you. She gets upset and abruptly ends the call. Buzz begins to notice that Princess Mira is acting strange. She goes around the ship cleaning at a high speed, similar to a drug addict on a binge. After this, Mira makes a plate of food stacked 5 feet high and demolishes it like she has the munchies. In the next scene, we see the benefits of the energy surrounding her as she knocks down a huge enemy with one punch. Commander Nebula is furious and tells Mira the fusion reactor is strictly off limits. He tells her to stop this routine before she hurts herself or one of the crew members. King Nova shows up and says if he doesn't do everything possible to stop this, he will never forgive himself. Buzz is very worried about Mira. She tells Buzz that she can handle this and walks back into the fusion reactor to get her fix. When she returns to the ship, Buzz and the crew are waiting for her like it's an intervention. Booster tells her, "You've got to stop this." XR interjects, saying perhaps a demonstration is in order, then says, "Take this light bulb, feed it energy and it burns bright." keep feeding it and it burns out. In this scene, XR is telling her how doing enough drugs can turn you into a burnout. Princess Mira then comes up with an idea to go after Zurg. Buzz says, "Let's meet at the ship to come up with a better plan." Mira responds with, "I'll have to meet you there, I just have to do something first." She was fiending again. After loading up with more energy, she feels confident and powerful enough to take down Zurg on her own. She does a good job defeating Zurg's robots, but uses up all of her energy destroying one of Zurg's laser blasters. Zurg locks her up in a cell and taunts her with energy. King Nova, Buzz, and the crew show up to save her, but Zurg locks them up as well. He then extracts energy from Mira to put together a blast strong enough to destroy Star Command. Once all energy was taken from the princess, she would be fried to a crisp. Luckily, she ghosts out of her suit and finds a way back down to save the others. Zurg tries to sway her, saying, "But you can't resist. You need that energy. You crave that strength," similar to a drug dealer trying to keep someone hooked on their supply. Mira replies, "You're right, Zurg, but there are other kinds of strength, like being able to say, 'Enough is enough.'" King Nova interjects, saying, "That's the stuff, my daughter. Admitting that you have a problem, that is the first step," pretty much referencing to a 12-step rehab program. King Nova continues, saying it never goes away, but she can fight it as he continues to do. Zurg interrupts his addiction speech, saying, "Your life ends now," as his robots start blasting away. King Nova uses his ghost power to get Buzz, Booster, and XR out of the cell. Mira's suit that was still in the chamber was set to self-destruct. As Buzz, Dr. Nova, and the crew make it to King Nova's ship, Zurg has his Zurgulator aimed at them. Right before he shoots the powerful blast, Mira's suit explodes, destroying Zurg's ship. After returning to headquarters, Commander Nebula is very disappointed that Mira disobeyed direct orders. The princess offers to resign because she knows that she messed up. Buzz jumps in, telling the commander that Ranger Nova was instrumental in the destruction of Zurg's latest weapon. He explains that Mira has great potential and convinces Commander Nebula to let her stay. This episode is phenomenal, and it tells a great story of how a good thing can spin out of control and possibly destroy your life. Episode 23, Supernova, first aired on the cartoon block Disney's 1-2 on UPN in October of 2000. After being shown only 2 times, network executives noticed the drug addiction references and decided to pull it off the air immediately. Supernova was banned from airing on Disney ever again. Princess Mira's addiction to energy was too similar to someone addicted to drugs. Many fans heavily disagree with this decision and say that it's an anti-drug episode. This reminds me of how the Cow and Chicken pilot was banned because of chickens smoking cigarettes, when in reality, it was written to keep people away from tobacco. Fans say that executives took this episode's message the wrong way, but I can see both sides of the coin. While on one side, the episode was made to show the dangers of addiction, but on the other hand, when you hear King Nova talking about the steps to recovery and see Mira going through withdrawals, it's undeniable that the way Mira is acting in this episode is mirroring a drug addict. So it's understandable why executives made the decision to ban Supernova. This episode can be found online and is definitely worth a watch, especially when you learn about the controversy behind it. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command is not on any streaming services yet, so it leaves the question, will this banned episode be uploaded to Disney Plus one day? For now, it's a mystery. Beavis and Butthead is an animated sitcom that was created by Mike Judge in 1993. The iconic duo made their first appearance 1 year prior in a short titled Frog Baseball. MTV was so impressed by the short that they wanted to make it a full series. After running for 7 seasons, the show came to an end in 1997. Beavis and Butthead is held in high regard as one of the best adult animated sitcoms of all time, but like many other TV shows, it's ran into controversy a few times throughout the years. The first episode of Season 3, titled Comedians, starts off with Beavis and Butthead watching TV. A commercial then comes on, showing how a stand-up comedian lives the good life from doing comedy. Beavis had plans of going over to their friend Stuart's house to burn some things, but after seeing the commercial, Butthead convinces him that they should go to a comedy club and become stand-up chameleons. Once they arrive at the club, Butthead decides to go on stage and try stand-up comedy. Beavis is the only one laughing at his joke, so eventually he is booed off stage. Next, Beavis makes his attempt at stand-up, and by the time he is done, the audience has left the building. Beavis then tries to juggle burning newspapers. This leads to the comedy club getting burned down. Watching the fire from outside, the duo has a conversation about how funny they are. The episode was nothing out of the ordinary for Beavis and Butthead, but 1 month later, tragedy struck. On October 6 of 1993, a 5-year-old boy in Ohio watched the episode Comedians. Later that night, after sneaking out of his room, he wanted to copy the scene of Beavis juggling the burning newspapers. The results of this were tragic, as it led to him burning down the family's trailer home and the death of his 2-year-old sister. This caused a change for the lineup of Beavis and Butthead, now airing at 10:30 p.m. instead of 7. MTV also instructed Mike Judge to edit out any fire scenes from pre-existing episodes. After making edits to Comedians and playing it on TV a few more times, the crew decided to remove the episode from the show's lineup for good. Before I started editing the video, I wanted to do some more research to make sure I wasn't missing any information, and it turns out, it's rumored that the trailer home did not even have cable TV at the time, so MTV wouldn't have been available. Many people speculate that the family blamed the incident on Beavis and Butthead, an adult cartoon, and it very well could have been a case of bad parenting. This is the general consensus online. However, this rumor was never officially confirmed. This tragedy was very unfortunate and probably the worst thing that's ever happened from a cartoon episode. Dexter's Laboratory has always been one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows. Something that made this cartoon unique is the segments with the Justice Friends and Dexter's Monkey, which consists of Dexter's pet monkey turning into a superhero. During part 2 of episode 4 of Dial M for Monkey, he is trying to save the world from 2 villains, Barbecuer, who is a parody character of Galactus, and the Silver Spooner, which is a parody of the Silver Surfer from Fantastic Four. The Silver Spooner is considered to be a stereotype of gay men. The episode also featured a scene at the end that shows Crunk from the Justice Friends getting drunk. After its initial airing, this episode was banned. However, this wasn't a result of the stereotypes. The real reason for the episode being banned is because the creators of Silver Surfer were not happy with the way the character was portrayed. They made threats stating copyright infringement and misuse of the character. Following this, the episode was never shown on TV again, but it was included in the Season 1 DVD on Region 4. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a supernatural drama TV series that was created after the success of the 1992 film. It ran for 7 seasons and 144 episodes on the WB from 1997 to 2003. Today, I want to discuss Season 3, Episode 18, Earshot. During the episode Earshot, Buffy uses her mind-reading ability and overhears a student that is planning a mass murder. After tracking him down, he denies this and says that he just wants to kill himself. This episode was set to air 1 week after the Columbine shootings happened, so the cast and crew decided it would be a good idea to not show this one. However, just a few months later, the episode would eventually air, and the show's schedule would return back to normal. This is an example of how, of no fault of the show creator, it was just bad timing and the episode had to go for a while. If you watched cartoons in the late 90s, then you may remember Cow and Chicken, an animated series that follows a brother and sister as they go through many wild adventures. The main antagonist of the show is the red guy, who is a funny cartoon version of the devil. Cow is the kind, curious 7-year-old little sister, and Chicken is the 11-year-old wiser brother who is often negative about things, but always protects Cow. An odd yet amazing pair of two main characters. The dynamic works very well. The show was very successful on Cartoon Network, running for 2 years from July of 1997 to July of 99. Cow and Chicken spanned 4 seasons, producing a total of 52 episodes. The format of the series was 2 7-minute episodes, followed by an I Am Weasel episode at the end. The I Am Weasel segments were very popular, and it became an official spin-off show of Cow and Chicken. 27 new episodes were made after Cow and Chicken ended and aired between 1999 and 2000. We can go more in depth discussing I Am Weasel another time. Now that I've went over the premise and some basic information about Cow and Chicken, I want to switch gears and get to the main topic of this video, the band pilot episode. David Feiss is an animator that has worked with Hanna-Barbera since the late 70s. He has worked on shows like The Pink Panther, The Jetsons, and many other projects like games and comic books. David came up with the concept for Cow and Chicken when he was making up a story for his daughter. On February 20th of 1995, Cartoon Network premiered What a Cartoon, a show where fans could select what short would be made into a full series. David Feiss pitched 3 ideas for this show. Cow and Chicken was selected to air. The episode, titled No Smoking, premiered on November 12th in 1995. It starts off with Chicken watching TV, and Cow begins to interrupt, asking to play a game. Chicken gets annoyed and tells Mom and Dad that Cow is acting stupid. This doesn't work, so he decides to try and watch TV again. Cow continues to pester Chicken and then threatens to tell Mom and Dad that Chicken smokes. He then denies smoking. Cow then pulls out an ashtray that has Chicken written on it. Chicken is shocked and tells Cow that he will play just before taking his ashtray back. Cow then transforms to Super Cow and jumps on Chicken. In the next scene, we see the first appearance of the red guy, which is called Mr. Devil in this episode. He comes up with a plan to kidnap Cow and Chicken and then bring them to hell. Plans quickly change when he realizes how big Cow is, so he decides just to take Chicken instead. The devil gets in an elevator and goes up to Earth. The elevator door opens in front of Chicken and Cow, and the devil offers Chicken cigarettes. Cow warns Chicken to not take the smokes and that it's not the right thing to do. Chicken gets defensive, saying, "Back off, I'm a big chicken." He then reaches for a cig and the devil snatches him up. Once they arrive in hell, the devil begins to torture Chicken by beating him up and forcing him to smoke a giant cigarette. Cow hears her brother screaming help from the hole in the ground left by the elevator. She responds saying that she wants to help. Chicken says the words, "Super Cow," and Cow transforms once again. She then flies down to hell and beats up the red guy. Super Cow then grabs Chicken and flies back to Earth. The episode ends with Cow and Chicken sitting at the kitchen table, arguing about cereal. If you are a fan of Cow and Chicken, then you probably remember that only the legs of their parents are shown throughout the show, leaving their full appearance a huge mystery. Well, in this final segment of No Smoking, Mom says, "Aren't our kids something, Dad?" And Dad answers saying, "There's nobody quite like them." The view of the kitchen zooms out, and it's revealed that Mom and Dad are only bottom halves. This episode was very well received, and viewers wrote to Cartoon Network demanding more episodes. Luckily, the show was greenlit and became a mainstay on the network when it premiered in '97. One thing that many people don't know is that after its initial airing in 1995, the unofficial pilot titled No Smoking was banned from airing ever again. The reason for this is that chicken smoking cigarettes was a bad influence on kids, especially since he was now a main character on a hit show for Cartoon Network. Also, the fact that hell was the setting for half of the episode didn't help. Creators of the show commented on the episode getting banned, stating that the episode is not meant to encourage smoking, and that the story shows smoking is a bad thing, seeing as that's why chicken went to hell. Because No Smoking only aired on television one time, fans watched the entire show never knowing what the parents looked like, unless you were lucky enough to watch the What a Cartoon segment. Another interesting fact about the pilot episode is that David Feiss animated the entire episode on his own. Even though No Smoking was banned from airing, it can be watched today online. Pokemon is the best cartoon that was based off of a video game. The show is very popular and has ran for over 1,000 episodes. Today, I'm going to talk about episode 38 titled Computer Warrior Porygon. It begins with Ash, Misty, and Brock trying to find out the problem with the Pokeball transmitting device. As per usual, Team Rocket is behind this. After literally going inside the device, Ash goes into battle with Team Rocket when Pikachu attacks an antivirus program with Thunderbolt, causing an explosion that flashes blue and red at a rapid speed. When this happened, it caused more than 10,000 people watching to get massive headaches, nausea, dizziness, and in more severe cases, it caused viewers to faint and have seizures. After this happened, Pokemon went off the air for 5 months. The episode Computer Warrior Porygon was banned from TV. Also, creators of the show went back to edit other episodes that may have involved flashing colors at a quick speed. The Pokemon Porygon and Porygon 2 are also overshadowed by this massive error because they never had another episode revolving around them. The Japanese dub of the episode can be found online, however an English dub has never surfaced to this day. Ash's voice actress Veronica Taylor said during an interview in 2004 that the Porygon episode wasn't done in English. But during a Q&A with Maddie Blaustein, who voiced Meowth, she claimed that 4 Kids did produce the episode in English, with the color flashing scene edited out this time. This was later confirmed by voice actor Eric Stewart, who voiced Brock in the series. He said the episode was done in English and that he had watched it before. This scene was a huge oversight by the crew editing the episode, but I'm glad they learned from it, and we haven't heard any similar stories since episode 38. Mickey Mouse Works is a Disney animated series that aired for 2 years from 1999 to 2001. The show produced 25 episodes and was a great success. Most of the shorts from Mickey Mouse Works were later used in House of Mouse. Music from the series was nominated for the Annie Award 2 different times. It's also worth mentioning, this is the first show we received from Disney in widescreen high definition. The animated series ran into controversy in January of 2000 when a short titled Minnie Takes Care of Pluto aired and contained a dark plot. This was part of episode 16. The short begins with Pluto being left at Minnie's house. After she yells at him, he believes that Minnie wants to kill him. Pluto's head is being messed with by a devil version of himself on his shoulder, saying Minnie will soon kill him. There's an angel on his other shoulder, reassuring Pluto that Minnie would never hurt him. Pluto becomes very paranoid and thinks Minnie is plotting against him when she says, "Eat your food, it's not poison." He thinks the worst. Pluto then walks by a chest in the room and sees Minnie digging a hole outside. This leads him to believe that the chest is a casket for him. The devil then tells Pluto that it's a dog-eat-dog world and he has to get rid of Minnie. He then points to a bowling ball to be used as a weapon. Pluto gets a mean look on his face, presumably about to do whatever he can to hurt Minnie. After being clumsy with the bowling ball, Pluto ends up knocking himself out. Now in Dreamland, he then wakes up in heaven and the angel says, "Such a bad dog. I'm afraid we don't let your type in here at all. Sorry." Before pulling out a golden harp and knocking him down to hell. The devil version of him shows up again, ready to show Pluto his eternal punishment. A fire hydrant falls on top of Pluto, with dogs lining up in front of it. After snapping back into reality, Pluto wakes up to Mickey and Minnie standing over him. Angel Pluto assures him that Minnie loves him and she always will. The devil chimes in, trying to convince him that it's all a lie. Pluto then realizes that the angel was right and knocks the devil down into a book. A cool thing about this episode is that the devil version of Pluto was voiced by James Woods, the voice of Hades. After the initial airing of Minnie Takes Care of Pluto, Disney received a number of parent complaints about the dark storyline of the episode, and it was pulled from the show's lineup, and also banned to never air in the US again. However, the episode did continue to be aired in different countries from time to time. Me and my brother used to watch House of Mouse, and I remember seeing this episode one time back in the day. Maybe it's one of those created memories, but I vividly remember seeing the devil and angel versions of Pluto on his shoulders. If anyone else has this same recollection, leave a comment below. Due to the episode being banned, the English dub of the short was lost for 13 years, until a low-quality version of it was uploaded to YouTube. In 2016, the episode was uploaded in high quality with English audio, finally putting this case of lost media to rest. Do you remember seeing this short? What was your initial thoughts on it? Let me know in the comment section. Aqua Teen Hunger Force is a TV series that was created for Adult Swim in the year 2000. It ran for 11 seasons and 139 episodes, coming to an end in 2015. On January 31st of 2007, Aqua Teen ran into controversy when some promotional LED lights of the Moon Knights that were for the Aqua Teen movie got posted around Boston were mistaken for bombs by the Boston Police Department. This led to a big panic as the lights were placed in surrounding cities as well. All major news sources covered this story, and it led to the people who posted the lights getting arrested that night. The Boston police were criticized by many journalists and writers for overreacting to the lights. Funny enough, the creators of the show decided to kick off season 5 with an episode about the incident titled Boston. It starts off with Shake attempting to sell meat wad on a bidding website to earn some extra cash. No one places any bids, so Shake decides to go to Boston in order to gain publicity for the auction. Frylock, Shake, and Meatwad board a plane, and Meatwad is placed in a crawl space where he is surrounded by batteries and wires, resembling the LED lights of the Moon Knights. They arrive in Boston, and after failing to wait for buyers, the ghost of Paul Revere shows up and introduces them to Ben Franklin, who purchases Meatwad. He gets struck by lightning multiple times and is mistaken for a bomb by people in the city. The Aqua Teen Hunger Force are told to leave Boston immediately. Master Shake then shows Frylock what he spent all the money on. A very detailed drawing of a large light bright similar to the one of the Moon Knights. Before airing, this episode was shelved by Turner Legal in order to avoid any more controversy for the show. However, in 2015, the full episode was leaked online. The episode is unfinished, but most of the voiceovers seem to have been done before cancellation of the episode. Here on Stay Up Late Productions, I have covered The Simpsons before. The Lost pilot episode that was done by Klasky Supo, who are known for making the Rugrats, and Cyberworld 3D, that crazy film that was exclusive to IMAX theaters. But today, I want to discuss the episode of the show that was banned a few years back, Season 3, Episode 1, titled Stark Raving Dad. In this episode, Homer gets sent to a mental institution because he wore a pink shirt to work. When he arrives at the facility, he gets put in a room with a guy named Leon Kompowski. His roommate is voiced by none other than Michael Jackson. Michael was a big fan of the show, and he wanted to be a part of an episode. He called Simpsons creator Matt Groening and presented some ideas for an episode he could star in. Groening was very receptive to the idea, and the two made an agreement that Michael would star in an episode, along with writing a song for the episode called Happy Birthday Lisa. The episode begins with Lisa reminding Bart that he forgets her birthday every year. Bart acknowledges this and makes a promise to get her a present this year. While getting ready for work, Homer notices all of his white shirts are now pink. This is the result of Bart throwing his lucky red hat in the laundry. Homer has no choice but to wear a pink shirt to work. Homer's boss, Mr. Burns, sees this and thinks Homer is a free-thinking anarchist. He then sends Homer home to take a quiz, testing his sanity. The quiz asks questions like, is he quick to anger? Does he hear voices? As per usual, Homer is too lazy to actually do the quiz, so he gets Bart to do it for him. Of course, Bart has better things to do, so he checks yes for every question. Homer returns the test to work, and Mr. Burns sends him to a mental institution. Homer finds himself in a cell with a large man named Leon Kompowski, who tells Homer he is Michael from the Jacksons. Homer responds, "I'm Homer Simpson from The Simpsons." Leon is surprised to learn that Homer doesn't know who Michael Jackson is. Homer and Leon spend some time together, exploring the institution, and quickly become friends. Homer wants to call home, when Leon offers to call for him. Leon calls the Simpsons house and Bart picks up the phone. He is in disbelief that Michael Jackson is on the phone. It's proven the next day that Homer is not insane and he is ready to go home now. Homer wants to bring Leon over sometime. Then Leon tells Homer that he is actually there voluntarily and offers to come home with him. Michael starts talking to Bart about Lisa's birthday. He tries to find out how Bart really feels about his sister, while creating a song for her. Bart and Leon wake up Lisa and sing her birthday song for her. Lisa loves the song, and after this, Leon reveals his real voice. He explains to Bart that he is a different person, and he uses his Michael Jackson voice to make people happy. This episode was released in September of 1991, and received mostly a positive reception from fans of The Simpsons. Due to contractual reasons, the song Happy Birthday Lisa was actually performed by a Michael Jackson sound-alike, but all of the other dialogue was done by Michael. This episode was very well written, and Michael Jackson's performance was a great fit. However, in 2019, documentaries revolving around Michael Jackson's abuse allegations were released. Because of this negative attention to Michael, this episode was pulled from The Simpsons rerun schedule. Stark Raving Dad is not available on Disney Plus and has been forbidden to be on any Simpsons DVD releases from 2019 going forward. This episode received very positive reviews from almost every source that wrote about it. Some people cite The Simpsons writing team for the classic episode, and not Michael Jackson's performance. I'd say it's probably a mix of both, but The Simpsons writing team has always been top-notch. Luckily, this episode can still be watched on the Internet Archive. I don't really see any reason for people to fight for this episode to be put back into circulation, so it's safe to say, Stark Raving Dad may be banned forever. Gargoyles is an animated series produced by Disney and is a mainstay for 90s cartoons. Running for 78 episodes and 3 seasons, the show is known for well-written characters and storylines that can sometimes get dark. The most notorious example of this occurs in episode 8 titled Deadly Force. During the episode, Broadway is flying through the city when he sees Elisa's apartment. He opens the window and calls to see if she is home. She says, "Come inside and make yourself at home." Broadway enters her apartment and she begins cooking a meal for the gargoyles. Meanwhile, Broadway walks around the living room looking at her family photos on the wall. Up until this point, we are watching an ordinary Gargoyles episode, but in the next scene, things go dark. Glancing around the apartment, something catches Broadway's attention. It's Elisa's gun and holster hanging on the coat rack. He decides to pick up the gun and start playing with it, acting like a character from a western. Elisa is in the kitchen cooking with her back turned, so she doesn't notice that he has her gun. Broadway is jumping around and playing when the gun goes off and fires a shot towards the kitchen. He immediately drops the pistol and begins apologizing. He picks up the gun again, saying, "Hope I didn't break anything." He looks in the kitchen to see the meal cooking, but doesn't see Elisa. Broadway starts yelling for her and walks in the kitchen to make a shocking discovery. Elisa is lying unconscious in a pool of blood. Later in the episode, Elisa recovers from the gunshot. After many complaints from parents, the episode Deadly Force was removed from the Gargoyles lineup for a long time. Years later, when Toon Disney and Disney XD decided to play episodes of the show, they cut out the scene of Elisa laying in blood. Even though Deadly Force caused much controversy for the show, the creators of the episode remain proud of what they made because it taught a lesson in gun safety. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up and drop a comment if you feel like it. Subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this, and until next time, stay up late productions.